Hey, we are two Star Wars nerds, and right now we're rewatching the Clone Wars. And today in particular, we are going to talk about the Malevolence arc, the very first arc in all of Clone Wars, the animated series. And yeah, this is going to be really cool. So this was mainly your idea for wanting to do this. You had this cool idea that we're going to start this new series of going over all of our favorite arcs in the Clone Wars as they come up. So starting with this one, just what are some things that you like in this Malevolence arc?
I think first of all, the ship is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a little terrifying. So it's really powerful and really cool way to start off. I think the series. I know a lot of people, I guess the Clone Wars can be controversial, but our channel's about the good things and what we love. So we're finding the things we love, and we like Clone Wars. And I liked these 3 episodes on the I don't know how to say
Malevolence. There we go.
I keep on saying Maleficent.
Yeah.
But that's very Malevolence. And I think it's a cool introduction to Grievous. I don't know if we see him in the Clone Wars movie.
No.
So I think he's super cool. So it's always cool when you see him. Obviously, you see him in Revenge of the Sith later too. But yeah, there's a lot of cool introductions, and I love the animation style. But about Malevolence in general, I think it's a really cool arc just because that ship is so powerful. And you see Dooku and Grievous, they don't even want anyone to know about it. They just want to come in and take everything and everyone out. They want no witnesses. And so you just see the evil of these guys, and you know, some people see it and they survive, and that begins their downfall of the Malevolence. But I can't imagine if they were able to keep that thing going.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah.
And you even see some interesting interactions there between Dooku and Grievous on the Bridge of the Malevolence, and then later through Hologram. But just even the dynamic between the two and how that plays out. That's interesting to see, and then also to see how Grievous treats the droids, and just completely expendable. Just when he's frustrated, just destroying them. Which is the opposite of Yoda and Plo Koon. I mean, the first episode, Ambush, isn't a part of this arc, but you see how much Yoda cares about the clones and how he's trying to give them like some sense that they matter. And Plo Koon's the same way. They're not.
Anakin and Ahsoka are too.
Yeah, it's not that they're like expendable. They're invaluable, and they have worth, as opposed to the droids, which are just completely expendable, and that's the purpose. They just want to overwhelm their opponent. But even what's interesting, you bring up Plo Koon, you get to see him in a lot more depth in this.
That's super cool.
And obviously, you know, finding out later about Plo Koon and Ahsoka, and how Ahsoka came into the Jedi Order, and seeing their interaction early on in this arc is really cool. Huge heart for a Jedi, for sure. And even something, there's just a lot of establishment that's actually, I think, really good here, because you have just the establishment even between Ahsoka and Anakin, even more. The more I watch it, the less whiny I find Ahsoka. I remember early on I thought she was a little insufferable, and I didn't enjoy her as much. But now when I'm rewatching, I'm like, it's actually not that bad. And like, I'm actually finding that like my opinions on it are changing.
Yeah, I've always liked her. Yeah,
and I think, you know, it is interesting how she's like, well, anybody listen, you know, to the Padawan? And it's kind of like, no, we are in war, literally. This is not about your feelings. But yeah, I mean, there's so much good about this, and I love the arc model that they introduce. Granted, the Clone Wars is a little confusing at times because how it shifts around in the timeline so much.
Right.
But I love the arc model where you get these 3-4 episode pockets where you can just really dive deep into this story, and it's just continuing from episode to episode. Pretty cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool idea.
I just have to remember
Yeah.
the order, because while this is technically chronologically before Revenge of the Sith, it came out after.
Mm-hmm.
So just like keeping, because I keep thinking it came out, because I'm like chronologically, but I was like, so keeping everything in line in Star Wars is so difficult, because what George did is really cool. He goes back and he fills in gaps later on. So just I have to keep remembering that as I'm watching. Not that that really matters, but something I have to be intentional of to kind of keep my mind straight on the storylines.
For sure, because there is release order, and then there is the chronological order. Very different approaches to it. And even with that, something that's interesting, obviously you see Anakin and Grievous meet in episode 3 in Revenge of the Sith. Mm-hmm. And Anakin has that remark of, oh, you're taller than I expected. Mm-hmm. I believe that's what he says. And it gives off this inference they haven't met before. And what keeps happening is Grievous, as a major character in Clone Wars,
he's a coward, keeps running.
Yes, but more so, it's like, how do you keep Anakin and Grievous apart from each other?
Right.
And I mean, right off the bat in these few episodes, it's like, oh, are they coming together? No, they're not. And so I even think that was done well to keep Grievous as an interesting main character, give him a little more depth, but then also not in this particular instance, not mess with what was happening with Anakin and Grievous there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So this Malevolence arc contained 3 episodes. So there's Rising Malevolence, Shadow of Malevolence, and Destroy Malevolence. I do not have that memorized. I'm reading it.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite episode from this arc?
The one I think I liked the most actually was Rising Malevolence.
Me too.
That's the one that kept my interest the most. That's I felt like that one had a lot of action and just closed the story, self-contained in the arc, and I like that. So yeah, episode 2, I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that was my favorite too, knows because of the moment in the pod with Plo Koon and the clones. And just then how he's like, we're not giving up, and we're gonna find people care about us, they will come. I thought that was really cool, and it just gave you more insight into who he was, because you don't really ever, you just see him on the council, you don't really. Yeah. So that was cool to see, like, oh, he's even his backstory with Ahsoka, but then he's just a super cool dude.
Yeah.
A good person. So that, or I guess he's not a person. I don't know.
Alien.
He's a good alien. So that's what I really liked from that arc.
Cool. I really like when the Malevolence is destroyed.
Yes.
I think the weapon itself is cool. What is it? The ion cannon. That's really cool. It does feel a little cartoony, where it's like you don't really see anything like that in Star Wars, but maybe that's the point where it's like it's a super weapon, that they have. Again, I don't know why they build these weapons with such simple vulnerabilities where they can just attack one little quadrant and then it implodes on itself. But I did like that when it's defeated and you just get this really cool advancement of the Republic. I like that.
So is that your favorite moment of the arc?
I think so.
Yeah, I have the same one.
Cool.
We're right in line here.
We didn't even talk about this before. Awesome. Well,
before we go, overall, did you think this was a good arc?
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it.
How would you rate it from a 1 to 10? We can just set this up for all our arcs, how we would rate them.
Okay. So let's establish this. Is it? I think we're gonna have to do 2 things. Actually, we're gonna have to do it in context of every arc we've seen so far. And then also individually. So for this one, I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. As it stands right now, 7 out of 10. There's no context because this is the first one we're covering. But for me, 7 out of 10. I liked it. I'm the same. Cool.
We're very in sync here.
We
That's
are.
not very. That
No,
doesn't
it's
happen
not.
very often. So let's just milk that.
But with that, if there are arcs in particular you would like us to cover, let us know. And let us know what you think of this arc, the Malevolence arc. If you want to keep talking Star Wars, we have a Discord. The link is in the description. You can pop in, say what's up, and it's just a bunch of sweaty nerds talking about Star Wars. But with that, we are two Star Wars nerds, and may the Force be with you always.
Always.